Welcome back to another episode of Important Miscellaneous Talks. I'm your host, Glassford Crossfield. We are changing the world one podcast at a time. And today we have a recurring guest, the world-renowned dating app expert. Please welcome Grand Can.
What's up, guys? How's it going? Good to see you, Glass. Nice to be on the interview with you again. And Prince, nice to meet you, brother.
So,
All right, so my first question is, how does a man find his identity?
Well, a man finds his identity. That's a very good question because it's not discussed enough in the dating world. It's not discussed in general in our society. So, the way the man finds his identity is really to tap into. If you want to know the harshest way of discovering it, when I mean harsh, it's going to be the most disturbing way of going through finding your identity, which is tackling your trauma. And the reason why it can come off as disturbing or harsh is because you have to face the ugly truth sometimes that you have to relinquish anything that's been holding you back from being a more developed person, right? So when you're able to fully liberate yourself from all your trauma and your insecurities, that's the fastest way of discovering what your identity is. Because what happens is when we're trapped in our insecurities and our trauma, we actually are not able to be our most authentic self. And to say that a man's in his identity, he's being fully authentic, he's being fully transparent and honest and clear with how he carries
I think
himself
you're
talking to
frozen.
women.
Okay, you're not frozen anymore. Continue, sorry.
Okay. Uh, so a man being clear, honest, transparent, and authentic with himself, that's a man in his identity. Now, no one in this world can be fully authentic 100 times. So the way I'm sending this message to everybody who's watching this is that you want to be consistently or as consistently as possible be in your masculine identity by being honest, being transparent, being clear on who you are. So again, the first step is clearing your trauma and clearing those insecurities. Once that's been completely eradicated or at least like under control, then you can start looking up your boundaries, your standards, your principles, your vision. You can start applying affirmations. And this is what I teach my students is that once we get rid of all the nasty stuff, now we can go into the cooler stuff, which is how do you what are some boundaries you have, what are some standards you have, and that whole process is going to put you in your masculine identity. And then the energy and the presence that you gain from being in your masculine identity is freaking unreal. Like you are going to be on top of the world. You feel like you're ahead of like a lot of guys because you are just in tune with who you are.
What would you say your identity is?
My identity, so my name is Cameron Hashemi. That's my identity. My name, like I'll say like my name, so I go based off my name first. And then who I am as a man who is living in this world for trying to in the on the pursuit of living freely with money, freely with time, a man who has boundaries to protect himself from disrespect from family, from friends, or from girlfriends or girls that I'm dating. I'm a man that is here to liberate myself from any kind of insecurities and traumas that I have. And when I'm able to do that, I can give value back to the world and I can give value to others and lead people in a direction where they can feel more liberated in their own sense. So I'm not a guy, I don't define myself as someone who's like, for example, I'm ethnically Persian and American, right? I'm born in America, but ethnically I'm Persian. But I don't say I'm a Persian guy because before my ethnicity and before the color of my skin or before like my curly hair or anything or my money or my materials, I'm me. And none of those things can define who I am. So that's my masculine identity is again, I have my boundaries, I have my standards. Like one standard I have that is I like to hang out with men, be interviewed by men who are ambitious, guys who are go-getters. I don't like to be surrounded by guys who are losers or guys who don't apply themselves. And that's the standard I have for myself. So I put it on other guys as well. So that's a good definition of what I would say like a boundary standard. Um, and then if we're going to get into context really quickly about like, let's say, how does my masculine identity fit with like a woman? I'm looking for a woman that's compatible with my vision and my goals. Like I'm a dating coach. I help guys get girls and I help guys create families with the women that they meet. If that woman is not comfortable with what I do and she's not comfortable with me, let's say approaching women with my students, that's not a woman that is in alignment with my identity. So
Mm.
she has to be very, very on point, and she has to be very, very interested in the kind of work that I do. So then she falls in line with my identity, and then she compliments me well. And that's kind of one definition of a woman complimenting me.
Do you find it difficult for women to align with your identity? To
I
find
would say, yeah, I would say, look, I'm not an easy person. See, I'm easygoing. I'm very friendly. I'm very positive. I'm very ambitious. I'm relentless. I'm fucking resilient as shit. When it becomes difficult for a woman is if, let's just say, there are some expectations I have of her, like some roles and responsibilities, and she's not willing to be up to par with what I do, that's when it becomes difficult. But I don't look at it as like I'm a difficult person. I look at it as like, is this woman team Grand Cam or not? So if she is,
Mm.
it's going to be easy going. It'll be easy street. But if she's not, it'll be difficult. And there's no point of her being around me. Her body, her face, her makeup, the heels and nails and all that kind of stuff doesn't mean jack shit to me. Yes, it's important in the beginning, but beyond that, what else is she doing in my life? How else is she serving? How else is she complimenting? How else is she benefiting my life to some degree in my vision and building my brand and building my my just my path to becoming more wealthy? Like, how is she helping me in any of this? So it becomes easy when she's team Cam. When she's not, it becomes difficult.
Um, you mentioned a few things that I found interesting. You mentioned building your brand, basically building you, supporting you. Um, but what if there's a woman that wants to build herself up as well, or build her brand and her name and her business and stuff like that? Is that a woman that is not for you, or do you believe you can do both at the same time? Or we can build my brand and your brand at the same time, or my life and your life at the same time.
Yeah, that's a great question, Prince. So I believe that a woman can have her own brand and she can help me with my brand at the same time, because I think it's going to be pretty much what's going to happen is it's going to encompass a value for value exchange. So she'll be helping me, I'll be helping her. I come from a business background, so my whole family are entrepreneurs. I went to school for my business degree and I got my master's in business as well with focus in entrepreneurship. So business is something I love to do. I love to consult. I love to give value back to people. And I've done so many, before I ever did dating coaching full time, I was doing a lot of community service where I would go to these inner city schools in Los Angeles where I grew up. And all these kids were like mostly Hispanic. So I speak Spanish to them because I know how to speak, I learned how to speak Spanish fluently. um, I would be giving back a lot. And I wasn't expecting anything in return except the kids' participation and wanting to learn from me. Right. So if my girl comes up to me and says, baby, I need help with like launching an Instagram ad, I need help with being able to market this better, I'll say, let's fucking do it. Let's talk about it. Let's discuss it. And the more game that I can give her about my business acumen, that my value to her will significantly increase. So I'm not just a guy with a set of balls and a dick to her. Like, I'm a guy who actually can do way more than have just like a handsome face or like, good looking clothes and bullshit like that. And a nice car, for example. I can do much more where I can connect with her emotionally, and not just connect with her emotionally on an intimate level, but where it's more important is on a non-intimate level. Outside the bedroom, guys, is probably one of the most important ways to develop and cultivate a relationship. So Prince, like, if I can tap into her business mindset and build her acumen about building her brand, and she starts to see results, and let's just say she doesn't even see results, we will discuss and talk about and say, okay, let's see where we went wrong. So I'm throwing a bit of logic into her mindset. And when she sees that, she's like, damn, this guy's smart. He knows what he's talking about. He's helping me. Like, what a supportive man. So I would definitely be helping her on her brand. As long as it's not for me, like, where I would draw the line, if it's like too demanding and it's getting too much into my schedule, I would have to set a boundary with her and let her know, like, all right, baby, listen, I'm here to help you. We could talk about this, let's say, like 2 times a week, where we'll have a business meeting. We'll have, let's say, Monday meeting, like, you can come over to my crib. We'll talk about it. And then Friday, we'll have a meeting following up how everything has gone so far for your week. So that's pretty much how I would structure it.
Okay.
Are,
And you also mention expectations, and usually, they say you shouldn't expect anything from anybody, but I believe to an extent, uh, I think I think sometimes even with a partner, like with a man and a woman, if you're together, sometimes they say you shouldn't expect anything, but I think that's kind of foolish, especially if you expect something long term. Of course, you're gonna have expectations of me, and I'm gonna have expectations of you. So how does that work, or like, or is that a saying that it is I wouldn't say a myth, or is that a saying that just doesn't mean anything, or does it?
Yeah, good question. I would say, so here's the thing about expectations. I think where people go wrong is, okay, so here it is. Best way, in my opinion, to explain this. So I think where people go wrong on the expectations factor is this, like, let's just say I use the term, I expect this out of someone to get a certain result in return. But because I'm not a clear communicator, and because I'm not transparent, and because I'm not very straightforward in what I'm looking for, I expect them to do this in return. But then let's just say my girl, like, here's a good example. Let's say I like to have shoes always taken off whenever people come into my house, right? That includes women, where they're wearing heels, flip flops, whatever the fuck it is, right? And let's just say like this girl that I'm dating keeps coming into my house not wearing shoes, right? Or wearing shoes. So she's not taking it off. In my mind, I expect people to take off their shoes when they go in my house. But because I'm not communicating with her, she doesn't know any better. She has not lived in my house. She has not been raised in my house. She doesn't know, what the expectations are. So she just keeps walking in, and I start getting frustrated and angry about it. And I tell her, like, listen, bitch, you're supposed to take off your shoes. And she's like, what the hell? How am I supposed to know that? Right.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's where I think, like, if you're just not, this is to answer the question, Prince. It's like you got to have it where you got to distinctly communicate what your expectations are, right? Like your standards can be an expectation, boundaries pretty much can be an expectation. If you're like, look, I don't like it when you yell at me, right? So if you're gonna talk to me, baby, you got to speak very, very peacefully, right? And if I'm being peaceful too. And if she continues to yell, like, then that's an issue on her. It's not on me, right? So as long as the man and the woman, both on the woman's side too, she's got to clearly communicate something, like a boundary of hers that maybe she doesn't want me to violate, right? So as long as there's communication between the man and the woman, there's no like, I expected this and this didn't happen, or whatever the case may be, because there's been communication in the first place. You know what I mean?
mhm.
So I think I have an interesting question. Um, you mentioned how you typically pick women to align with your identity.
Yeah.
Now, do all the women that you deal with align with your identity for short term and long term?
Great question. Absolutely. So that yeah, these are all really good questions, guys. So as far as like the short term goes, let's answer short term and long term. I think long term is like kind of the more obvious answer, but for short term, if a woman, so I have this concept that I teach my students, and I talk about in my course content or on my Instagram content as well. It's called the 5 pillars of compatibility. So it's seduction, attraction, respect, sense of humor, and rate of responsiveness. So in one of the pillars, right, if we're talking short term, like if I met a girl, let's say, because I live in Arizona, I met a girl at a club in Arizona, and within, like, let's say 10 to 15 minutes of speaking to her, I can tell she's vibing with me. I can tell she's interested in me intimately. She's okay with me being like seductive to her. So that's a short-term gain right there, right? So if she's interested in me being seductive, I can say super kinky stuff to her. I can be super sexual to her very fast. She's comfortable with me touching her in like different parts of her body, right? So being in alignment with my identity is me being like, I know I'm a very sexually liberated guy. Like I'm very bold and very comfortable getting a girl to be turned on by me in a very public setting. Like I'm very comfortable with that. And I don't have to be in a private area to say dirty, kinky shit or anything like that. So if she's okay with this, she's in alignment with part of my identity, which is my intimacy, right? So, and again, the 5 pillars of compatibility is part of my identity as well. So I have a structured system that I utilize to determine, is this girl team cam or not. So absolutely, this can be used in the short term. Like I've been on vacations before. I've rented Airbnbs with a bunch of people. And there's this one chick, for example, who literally latched kind of like we were just having fun, like playing games with everybody. And she kind of latched onto me, just kept holding on to me. And because I'm very comfortable and I'm very authentic in how I carry myself, she felt very comfortable with telling me, like, look, I've had my eyes on you the whole time and I want to have sex with you. And I was like, let's do it. Let's go upstairs. And we went upstairs and we got it on. And this is after 2 hours of meeting each other in the Airbnb, right? So because she saw how in alignment I am with my identity, and she saw that, you know, I'm like this, I'm like Cameron. I feel very sexually liberated too. He makes me feel comfortable. He makes me feel feminine. He makes me feel I'm in my element. I don't have to like play games. I don't have to like bullshit. I don't have to do all these things and make it difficult for him. I like the way he carries himself. And the girl's not thinking, oh, I'm in alignment with his identity. She's thinking like he's attractive. And the way he carries himself is very masculine and very handsome. So I want to be part of this. So she becomes part of my identity, like pretty much that night, being intimate with each other.
Got you.
I have a question. So in regards to that, what if in that scenario, because I'm kind of like dealing with that right now, to where it's like it's the same thing. I don't see it long term at all. But in her eyes, that's what she sees. Right? Oh, so she's down to have fun. She's the sexual liberation. She's down for all of that, and we do vibe well. But I know long term, it's never happening, and that's something that I voiced. And she asked me for the reasons why, and I stated the reasons why we could never be a long term thing. You know, but that's something she wants. It's something I can't give her. And usually, like for me, like if you can't, usually I would leave. Like if I can't fulfill things for you or whatever it may be, like then I'm not for you. So me letting her know that she's not for me, you know, she's still around and she still wants to be around. And it's almost like, you know, well, I guess we can just go with the flow, even though I made it known that it'll never be serious between us. It'll probably only be this one sexual thing, but she seems okay with that. So how do you go about that? I mean, it's a win for me. It's a loss for her.
Well, why is it a loss? My question is, why is it a loss though for her?
Because outside of sex, she won't get anything else. Like she won't get the commitment from me.
Okay, so I don't believe that okay, so there's intimacy and non-intimacy, right? So intimacy, you are fulfilling that with her. Non-intimately, you know that sex is, excuse me, non-intimately, commitment is not the only thing that non-intimacy is defined as. Like you on a non-intimate level, bro, you can have women help you with your brand, help you with your vision, help you with this like podcast, for example. There's so many things that women can do for you. Like a woman could cook for you, a woman can clean for you, a woman can do, and then you already know this stuff too. Women can do a lot more things. Like I think I think what's important here is that if a woman has consciously decided, and you've been transparent about it, right? You've been honest, you've been transparent. The next step is like, okay, if she knows that I'm not going to commit to her long term, what kind of roles and responsibilities can I give her so she feels fulfilled and I feel fulfilled on her presence, right? So she wants to, obviously there's something about you, Prince, that she wants to keep gravitating towards you. Since that's the case, what list of responsibilities and again roles can you give her so she feels like, hey, even though I'm not having any commitment with Prince, I still feel valued. I still feel like I'm helping him. And I'm not only just sexually pleasing him, but I'm also doing other things that allows me to be closer with him and allows me to have more time spent with him. So the one thing you want to avoid is you in this circumstance, because again, you don't want to be committed to her. You just don't want to do things that are boyfriend, girlfriend vibes out of it too. Is there anything wrong with taking her out to dinner for, let's say, like her, like helping you with the podcast? Like she wrote some ideas down and said, okay, you and Glass should like do this, you should do that, blah, blah, blah. Like, let's just say you're like, hey, I want you to brainstorm the next like 5 topics that Glass and I should talk about. I don't have time to do it. I got to go to the gym. I got to go do this, whatever the fuck is going on. Right. So you come back and you see her write down like 5 new ideas, and she breaks it down for you like a business presentation, right? And you're just like, damn, okay, I see you. And then you're like, you know what? Let's go grab some dinner after this. I don't think there's anything wrong with doing something like that to reward her for putting in effort, right? And and she again knows in the background that you are not going to commit to her. So if she starts to say some shit like, are we going to spend Valentine's Day together, or like, can you come visit me at my parents' house or something? That's when you got to like throw the boundary and say, hey, look, that's going towards a commitment factor, and I don't want to get your feelings mixed up. You know where I stand on this. So sometimes you got to remind these chicks and let them know, like, hey, I already said what I said. You're a great girl. You've been helping me in all these different aspects, and we're very fun to be together when we're intimate. But I got to draw the line at me visiting your parents' place, because that's going towards a boyfriend, and your parents are going to think I'm your boyfriend, and that's not objectively what's happening between you and I right now.
So I just thought of another unique question. What do you do when the girl doesn't live in your city or state, but you still want to keep her on the roster?
Well, good. That very good question, guys. I think when you say keep her on the roster, like you want her to be continually to be intimate with you and still reach out to you. Is that what you mean by that for a girl that's like out of
Um,
town?
yeah, like I actually want to do a lot. I obviously I want if I'm ever in her city, I want to be able to finagle there. I want her to
You want
still,
a clip? Yeah.
yeah, definitely. I still want her to be an asset to my life as well.
You trying
Sometimes
to
when
fuck?
they're not in their city, some women find it pointless, which I can understand. There's only it seems as though when you're doing the out of city thing, it's only a matter of time before she sticks a fork in it.
Yeah.
You know, I believe what keeps it maintained is every time you meet up with these chicks, like in your town, in your city, right? If these chicks come in, you show them such an amazing time, whatever you guys are doing together, they won't want this to fizzle out between you guys, right?
Mm.
Like for
Mm.
example, I was in Colombia about a few weeks ago, and one of the girls that I met, she was very, very, very keen about who I am. And she and I are still reaching out to each other on WhatsApp. And I told her that I'm probably going to go back to Colombia in 2023 as well, because the time of this recording is December of 2022. So I'm probably going to go back like in May of 2023, and I might even go a little bit sooner as well to just visit and have fun, and like maybe take her and go travel different parts of Colombia as well. So
Facts.
yeah, like she has gone above and beyond. The last night I was in Medellin before I went back to the United States. That last night, guys, like this girl showed me she's team Grand Cam, like to the max. And I was like, holy crap,
What's
this
she
girl
doing?
really likes me. Well, here's the funny part. So the first night, or sorry, the first night that I met her, we were at we rented a mansion in Guadalupe, which is in about an hour and a half away from Medellin. And it's a man-made
Hmm.
lake that's ginormous, and there's green
Hmm.
like hills surrounding it. It's absolutely beautiful. What we stayed at was this mansion in Colombian. A mansion's a finca, so Finca. So a finca was this big ass house that we had, and it was like me and like 5 other guys that we rented it out, and we had through our social circle connections, we invited a bunch of chicks to hang out with us. And one of the girls that was invited was that chick, the one that was very keen. We ended up hooking up that night. We went completely all the way and everything, had a really good time. And then she actually had to leave the Airbnb the next day to go to work. So I didn't see her for a good like 5, 6 days. But I kept in touch with her on Instagram. I told her, hey, I still want to see you again. Now, fast forward, and I set up the date with her. She didn't flake. She showed up on time and everything. So I saw her on I think it was Monday was my last day in Medellin. So on Monday I saw her, and bro, this girl and I we had drinks and an appetizer. We went back to my hotel. We got intimate. She comes up to me and she says, "Hey Cameron, why are you dropping me off at 8 o'clock at night?" She's like, "You got something going on after this?" And I'm like, "I actually do. I got another date lined up." And she said, "Oh, really? Like with what? Who is it?" I'm like, "You don't know the girl. She wasn't at that house party that you came to where you met me."
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just told her straight up. I'm like, yeah, I got another date lined up. And and I chuckled about it too, because I'm like, this is so fucking funny that I'm having this scenario right now. And she was like, and she was cool about it. She's like, oh, okay, is it one of the girls I know? I said, no, you don't know her. I met her before I came to the house party and stuff. And she said, okay. So we had one more drink, and then I dropped her off. Like I said, all right, like adios, you know, like she's going that direction, I'm going that direction. And I proceeded to have a date with this girl, a new girl. We had dinner together. It was really fun, whatever. It didn't really go anywhere. And I was like, all right, fuck this shit. So I dropped that girl. Then I texted the same chick. So I literally got my iPhone, right? I get my iPhone. I text the same chick again. And I said, the previous one. And I said, look, my date is done. The night is young. You want to come meet up with me again? She says, yep. Give me about like 30 minutes. I'll come over. I said, perfect. So she met up with me in the same district that I dropped her off. She came over. She dressed in a different outfit. I was like, God fucking damn. Like she looks super sexy both fucking times. It was perfect. So she ended up coming with me to this like nightclub slash bar. And guys, Colombia is dirt cheap. So I was like there getting like drinks for myself and her. Like everything was like under like $5 for like beer was like $3 or $5, nothing. Really cheap. So we're all just like drinking, having a good time. And then I see a bunch of like group of people that are all like they're like American Mexican American actually. So it was a bunch of like group of people that were from like Texas and like whatever East Coast. We're all hanging out with each other, we're drinking, and I'm like, yo guys, let's all like take some shots together. So I go and I find out that a bottle of Don Julio is cheaper than me buying 7 shots, which was like $100. I'm like, fuck it. I bought $100
Literally, yeah.
bottle. Yeah, it's about $100 bottle, and me and this chick were having an amazing time. We stayed up, bro, till fucking 6:30 in the morning, partying our asses off. She came back to my hotel. She slept with me. We got intimate like multiple times throughout that morning, and then we had lunch together. And then I kissed her goodbye and I went back to the airport. And since then, bro, this girl has like been in touch with me. Like, you know, she said, hey, if you want, I told her I still want to keep in touch with you. Let's do a video chat soon. She's like, yeah, just let me know. And every time I tell her, like, let's do this, she's like, just let me know. Let me know the date, the time. I'm like, all right, this girl's super down. So it's been fairly easy, like dealing with like women about like, you know, that are really in alignment with who you are. Cause like she saw me, there's something about me that she notices like, wow, this guy's so honest. He's so transparent. He doesn't give a fuck. And that's what makes him so attractive to me, or whatever other triggers that really got her to be turned on by who I am.
So it seems as though just when dealing with women outside of your city, just when you do interact with them, I'm assuming whether that be by call or, you know, when you see them in person, just make sure that it's a good time for them. Make sure that they're well taken care of.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You got to make sure that you got to leave a lasting impression in this world with everybody, in my opinion. It's not just like, okay, I'm in Colombia, I'm going to party my ass off. It's more like if I'm at a networking event, if I'm at the gas station, I meet this chick and we have a good conversation for 2 to 3 minutes and it makes her think about me. I
Mm.
mean, you know, like I've been before where I met a girl uh, on a plane. We were going from Texas back to California, and then she happened to live, I think, like in the East Coast. And this girl we started making out on the plane. She was sitting in the middle seat, and I'm sitting on the left side because I like the aisle seat. I hate being in like the window in the middle. So I'm sitting aisle, and this chick was literally right next to me. We just started making out with each other, and because I created a lasting impression, we stayed in touch for a little bit. It did fizzle out, but the point is that whole experience for her is something that she's always going to remember. So I tell my students and I tell everybody that I give my, you know, lectures and speeches to, that you guys got to create like a lasting impression with people in this world, and people need to remember like who you are, what you stand for. And so you're not just a number, you're not just a pawn, you're not just like some mediocre fucking dude who is like boring as shit. You got to be like somebody who's really, really impressionable and not impressionable. Sorry, someone who is very interesting, someone who's very convicted in who he is as a man, and that's what gets people to always remember who you are.
Mm.
I had I was in Colombia, like 3 months ago.
Nice, nice.
For the first time, went to Medellin, Cartagena, and I had a blast. Um, and you know, it was kind of like similar to yours too, where you know I I think it was like the first night she sledded me out and all of that. Uh, and we now we had a great time, and it's crazy because, like I said, it was 2-3 months ago. We had a great time. The first time, like the day I landed, we met up. You know, got intimate. The last day I was there, got intimate, and like ever since I left, and I do plan on going back. Like, she still hits me up like every day, like clockwork, every day. Every day is buenos dias, buenos tardes, buenos whatever. You know what I'm saying? So now you're definitely right about that, especially being overseas. But the thing I find with her and others is when they don't get that attention or that time, they start to like really feel away, or like for me it gets annoying because that's something that happens. It's like, oh, the lack of time, you don't respond to me, you'll take a day to respond. um and for me, I don't see nothing wrong with it because I feel like if you're not in my inner circle, or and she's another one that I made it known that, listen, it's not going to be long term. But 9 times out of 10 it's not going to be long term. um and I let it be known, but it's like it comes with the complaints of, oh, you're ignoring me, you must not care, you must not give a fuck, you don't really, like, you don't even answer your text, it only takes 2 minutes to text you back. And it's like, I don't I don't really care, but it's like it becomes an annoyance to me. So what do you do with, like, does that ever happen to you when they want your time, like they want you to text back or they want you to call, and I'm just like, listen, I'm busy.
How long has this been? How long has this been going on for?
Like since I left.
So
So
3 months it's been going on pretty much, right?
yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Prince, this is a very common issue for a lot of guys. When I'll tell you this, like this should have been, I'll tell you what should have happened and how we can navigate through this going forward. For the future girls that you're going to be talking to, and even with this girl too. When things of this arise, you need to you need to extinguish this very quickly. So this should not drag
Mm.
on for more than one conversation, like more than one conflict. Like it should have been done in the beginning. Now, leadership has a lot to do with this here. So I don't know the full context of exactly what you're telling her, what you're saying to her, how she's responding to you, how much attention you're giving it, because I don't have any of these issues right now. Now, that doesn't mean that girls don't occasionally here and there say, hey, can I have your attention or whatever, right? It will happen, but like I will neutralize it and I will navigate it in a way where the girl won't bother me about that kind of shit again, right? Now, there's definitely something like, again, if I had a whole transcript of every single message that you sent her, then I can like point out and say, okay, here I would avoid saying this, here I would avoid saying that.
Mm.
This is okay, but like save it for a conversation on the phone call. Maybe do a video chat. Don't talk about this like over a text. Because I think the more annoying thing for you is that it's constantly getting those notifications, like ding, 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 like all that shit, and like
Yeah, yeah.
constantly having to read your phone when you're like, look, I got shit to do with glass. I got like guests I have to interview. I have
Facts.
all these other things, right? So sometimes you got to like figure out, again, with the context that I have right now, what I can share with you and to the audience is that you have to know what things should be kept for the phone call, a video chat, and what can be kept for a text message. So if it's like something logistical, usually text is better. Or if it's like a short, quick message, text is better. But if you guys want to have like a full on invested conversation, which often happens on text messages, save it for the video chat. Like if she's saying some intimate shit to you, save it for the video chat. Also, another thing is like you can use voice messages, and voice messages like knocks it down really fast as well. Um, so if like, for example, if in a circumstance where a girl's at work and she's okay with me being intimate with her by speaking really, dirty and like kinky to her at work, then I'm gonna send a voice message and and force her to get out of her comfort zone and go and like try to listen to it while she's at work, right? So she might just be like, oh, let me just really low, like listen to it. And she's like, oh my God, this is so dirty. And she runs into the bathroom, right? That just changes the experience and it puts me in the driver's seat to navigate the way I want, right? So it's about taking power back, taking control back about the flow of how everything is being communicated. So if that's happening to you, Prince, and like to other guys, I know other guys are having this situation also. take your power back, take your control back, and don't allow these women to navigate that shit for you.
Okay.
What are some of the ways that you nip it in the bud?
I would say like one way of doing it is like if a girl is continuously like messaging me and she's being super lovey-dovey way too soon and stuff like that, I just don't respond for a while. Like I just won't respond for a while because I don't fucking care. Like Prince said too, he's like he doesn't give a shit either. I really don't fucking care. Like I'm literally I have work, I have business, and she's like, hey, like I'm not getting a lot of attention. I'm gonna say, hey, listen, Jackie, Emily, whatever. Like, here's the situation. I'm working right now, and if you want, we could do a video chat later tonight, and I'm happy to talk to you. And then during the video chat, I would let her know, like, hey, look, you got to understand like how my life is navigated. So as you know, I have a business where I help guys out. I have clients in the evening, I have clients in the afternoon, and in the morning, I'm grinding finding new clients. So, and I'm having like business meetings and business coaches that are helping me out and stuff like that. I don't have time to be texting all day. So if you want to be part of my life, which as of right now, I do want you to be part of my life. So if you want to be part of this, you have to fit in during the opportunities when I'm like available. So during the weekends, I tend to be more free. If you want to talk to me during the weekdays, evening time can work. Like when I'm done with my last like client, and let's say if I have a client at 8 o'clock, I can talk to you at like, let's say 9:15. I'll talk to you for about 15, 20 minutes. And then after that, I got to go to bed, get ready for bed. So I get very detailed about it. Like I explain it to her like a business, and I'm not going to yell at her. I'm not going to get mad at her and be like, yo, what the fuck, bitch? Like, what the hell? Like you keep calling me and blowing up my fucking phone. I'm not going to do any of that shit. I'm just going to let her know straight up and be very, very good in delivering my message to her so she understands where I stand, because I know that this is not in the future. So what I'm thinking in my head is like, okay, this is not the only potential conflict that we're going to have in the future. Like there will be some other shit that will arise where she might try to challenge the way I do things. Now, I think when women are doing this, by the way, guys, I think women are used to doing this with other guys in the past. So when they see my boundaries, when they see the way I navigate my life, then they get a little puzzled and confused, and they're not really sure how to navigate and how to fit into it. So sometimes, so the point of saying this is that you guys need to coach girls, like audience. You guys need to coach women all the fucking time. You need to train women all the fucking time to be trained and coached under your leadership in what Prince's identity is, and what Glass's identity is, or what Grand Cam's identity is. That is probably one of the most important pieces to take away from the response I just gave right now.
Doesn't that sometimes become mentally taxing, having to always coach a woman seemingly nonstop?
Me personally, no. And I'll tell you why, because I like to see greatness in people like that. I don't have time to jerk around. I don't have time to derp around and wait for guys, let's say like my homies or like my business contacts that are just like slow moving, mediocre lifestyle. Like I don't have time for that shit. And no judgment on those guys who like to live slow and mediocre. That's totally fine. Do you. But if you're going to be part of the Grand Cam team, part of the Grand Cam like vision, then I like guys who are fast, making money, guys that I can learn from to be fast and making money and build my business acumen a lot more. So because I expect so much greatness in myself, I expect greatness in women as well. So for a guy, Glass, if he is not, let's say a guy who's not very ambitious and he's not the kind of guy to give advice a lot, he's just not really, just kind of goes with the flow, then yes, to your question, it would be taxing on his mind. But for a guy like me who always wants greatness for himself, who always goes beyond his comfort zone and wants to strive for freedom of time, freedom of money, freedom of choice, then no, it's not going to be taxing for me, because I love to see people improve their lives on a daily basis and be around compatible people as much as possible.
Got it. Now, we've talked a lot about what a woman can do for you. And I know there's going to be somebody who sees, well, it's kind of seemingly one sided. So, what are some of the things that when a woman deals with you, what are some of the benefits of dealing with you for a woman?
Okay, so what are some of the benefits that women have when they're with me?
Yes.
Okay, so a woman benefits being around me through my business acumen, my leadership, my authentic. I think, okay, so before business acumen, what's more important, I would say, in order, would be like on a foundational level, and in no particular order. Like this is foundation. So authenticity, transparency, straightforward communication, clear communication on a foundational level, masculine leadership, a man being in his masculine identity. The next level above would be a guy who's very ambitious, a guy who is like myself, being very ambitious, having good business acumen, being very driven to get out of my comfort zone. A man who is able to be very detail oriented and see like, okay, we just got into this restaurant. We got about 20 minutes before we sit down. And I know the bar, like, okay, wow, the bar's packed, but we were going to get a drink before this. You know, I just found like 2 seats right over. So I'm thinking this all in my head. So I'm very strategic, right? So I'm going to go grab like a couple chairs and and I just quickly run to it. I go grab it and then I tell her, all right, come over here. And then she sits down with me, right? So I have very good, like a futuristic vision with like seeing shit. And I'm also very aggressive when it comes to like getting what I want. So if I see that, if I feel like I'm being ripped off or I feel like I'm being like kind of jerked around by like a business or like somebody who's just like not like really giving me the right answer, like I get right to the fucking answer immediately. So I call this like the backdoor strategy. So every time in my university, guys, when I've been like in my fraternity, I was part of a fraternity, and all my pledge brothers that were joining the fraternity at the same time as me after 8 grueling weeks of being like, you know, hazed and all this other shit, right? Shout out to my fraternity. I love those guys. What ended up happening was when I got into the fraternity, every one of my pledge brother guys got a leadership position. I did not. And it pissed me the fuck off. And I was like, what the fuck? So I decided to leave the leadership role of the fraternity and go join the pre-law association because I was interested in being a lawyer in undergrad. So I joined the pre-law association and I got a leadership position like immediately. I became VP of events. And then I joined Toastmasters International, which I discussed with you, Glass, I think on the last call. I joined that public speaking organization, Toastmasters, and I became the VP of Public Relations after being in the club for about 8 months. Then I became the president of Calabasas Toastmasters within like only 1 year of being in the organization. So because I've been always like looking for opportunities to grow, right? And I don't let one fucking setback say, oh, okay, I guess I give up, and I'm just gonna, have my, my fucking tail between my legs and fucking give up. I was like, no, I'm going after whatever the fuck it is that I want. And I thought I was gonna be president of that club I thought it was gonna take me like 2 to 3 years, but I became president within 1 year. And keep in mind, guys, these members of these clubs are like our parents' age, like they're like in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and shit like that. So it's like that to me was a fucking interesting experience being a 26-year-old, or it might have been 27. It was either 26 or 27. And I was like leading a whole group of people, 40 member club of adults, like mature adults. So resilience is in my fucking blood, hardcore. So she benefits off that resilience as well. And above that, I would say like, the next layer after this would be like how she benefits is like I dress well, I smell good, I fuck well, and I know how to be intimate without touching her. So that's one of the things I tell girls too, is like when I'll whisper in their ear, I'll say, look, I can get you so turned on, I don't even have to fucking touch you. She'd be like, oh, really? Well, see what you got. And through my words, which are poetry that goes into a woman's ear, when she hears whatever the fuck I say, she's like, God damn, this guy is just like, I don't even know what, I can't even control myself because this guy's just so goddamn sexy when he's speaking to me. So I know how to control the tone of my voice. I know how to like deliver the message so goddamn well that she's like, okay, I'm gonna go on my phone, call an Uber, let's get, you know what I mean? Like this girl is just gonna happen like that.
Wow, that's very interesting. Do you care to share some of your secrets about about having these women moist without much effort?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm in this conference room right now and the door just keeps opening. Okay, cool. Because if we're gonna get real dirty and kiki, we gotta have that door closed because I'm in my conference room in my complex. So what do you want to know exactly?
Well, you said you can arouse women without, seemingly just with words.
Mm-hmm.
How are some of the ways you do that without maybe getting too explicit? Because I'm assuming you can't get explicit out the gate, like gonna bang you hard.
Correct. Well, it depends actually. It really depends. It depends on like if we're using my concept of the 5 pillars of compatibility, And I've been seducing and using one of the pillars, which is the seduction pillar. If she's really into it and she's like, oh my Cameron, you're so funny, you're so cute, like that kind of stuff. And like I'm, let's say, putting my arm around her lower back and we're just like talking and she's just really close looking at me, then I could probably say some kinky shit like much sooner. So the basis, the foundation of being able to seduce a woman without actually touching her and through your words only is that a woman has a woman has two pussies, and I learned this from my mentor Steve the Dean. So shout out to him. He says that a woman has two pussies, and I was like, "The fuck? How's that possible?" And physically, it's not possible, but technically, it is possible because yes, there's the bottom half of the woman, but the brain is actually the most important part of a woman's body. This this is what creates submissiveness. This is what creates femininity. This is what creates everything. It embodies everything about her. So, what I've discovered from learning through my mentor and learning through creating my own game and my own like system out of this is that I realized that you got to penetrate a woman's mind first. You got to penetrate the mind, then penetrate the soul, and then penetrate the body afterwards, right? So penetration of the mind could be something very liberating. So I have a mindset that I share with my students, which is I'm your liberator. And I'm your liberator is a mindset that is telling the woman that I understand that you have gone through so much trauma, insecurities, and you feel sometimes bad about who you are. You don't feel like the woman that you are. You sometimes feel ugly. You sometimes feel like your toxic ex-boyfriend just never will leave your life. Your parents are giving you shit. Your boss gives you shit. You have catty girlfriends that talk shit behind your back. I'm here to liberate you from all that. I'm your protector, which is another affirmation, a sexual affirmation that I tell my students to give to women as well. I'm your protector. I want to be your escape. So if a girl like is saying some shit like, work is so fucking stressful. Oh my God, Cameron, it's so bad and da, 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 all that stuff. Say, come over here, baby girl. And then I'll just whisper in her ear. And shout out to Alan Roger Curry for this as well. Rest in peace, Alan Roger Curry. He says to whisper in the girl's left ear. So I mean, logistically it usually happens, but if you have to whisper in the right ear, it's not a big fucking deal in my opinion. You whisper in the left ear, preferably. And when you whisper in the woman's ear, I'll say, look, work is really stressful for you, right? And she's like, yeah. I'll say, you have that 9 to 5 grind you're always doing, right? She's like, yeah, I have that grind. Say, okay, well, here's the thing. I want you to understand that I'm not here just to be the average guy that you meet on a daily basis. Like, I know you came out this evening looking real nice. You see how I'm looking? You like how I'm looking? She's like, yeah, see, I like it. I like it. So, all right, perfect. Well, look, I'm here to be your escape tonight. I want to be able to liberate you from all the stress that you feel from your job. Your boss probably gives you shit, right? She's like, yeah, he gives me shit. Say, you get work sometimes when you go home. She's like, yeah, it happens sometimes too. Say, all right, well, look, I'm here to relax you in any way possible. And I want to be able to not just have you feel that drinking is going to relax you. My presence, my energy, the drive that I bring, the masculinity that I bring, I want you to be in your graceful femininity because I'm in my masculinity. And that right there is harmony. So just saying some stuff like that, right? Poetry like that. Then you can lead it up to being something sexual. And then you can say and I'm like, how do you feel about this? And you gauge her. And she's like, yeah, I'm really liking this so far. And say, all right, cool. Look, let me see how you're dressed right now. And then you can pull back for a second. You can just do a little spin with her, or you can just not even do a spin. You can just look at her and say, God damn, come over here really quick. So I just maybe a little bit more forcefully. I'm getting a little bit aggressive with her. I was like, God damn, those fucking heels are so nice right now. You always have your toenails looking like that? And she's like, yeah, I like pink. Say, pink looks so good in the contrast with your skin color and the nails. God fucking damn, girl. And you chose the right heels too. You like wearing those kind of heels a lot, don't you? And she's like, yeah. Say, look, every time that you and I are going to be together, I want you to be wearing those heels every single time. So you can get sexual with you and you can even say, look, I love pretty feet. And she's like, oh, really? And then she say, well, what are you going to do with them? And then you can get sexual with it. So if you do like feet, I would say because I like feet. And if she said, what are you going to do with that?
Cam?
Put it in your mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Not
Oh, yeah,
facts
dude.
for real.
Gotcha.
I like toes, man. I like pretty toes. I like women that are aesthetically well put together.
Your mouth. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Do some crazy shit like that, man. There's so much out there that a guy can do. And the thing is, like, a man has to feel very sexually liberated, man. Like whatever kind of kinks you have and whatever kind of fetishes you have to be comfortable and you have to be understanding of it. This is how you were fucking born. And this is how you're fucking raised. And there's nothing wrong with a man liking anything that he feels sexually satisfied from. All he has to do is, and the biggest thing for men as well is that if a woman can feel that you are so comfortable with who you are, I'm telling you, like this whole like women don't submit, American women don't submit, da 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 da, and women are hard. That shit goes out the window. Because when you speak poetry to a woman's ear, she feels fucking liberated. That's one of the roles and responsibilities of a man in this world when it comes to being intimate with women is to liberate the shit out of them. When they hear that, bro, clothes come off. Their eyes just fucking like spin around and they're like, dude, where has this guy been my whole fucking life? Nobody says this shit to girls. All guys are just saying like, yo, you know, let me get some of that. Hey, I want to fuck you. And it's just like so out of sync. They don't penetrate the woman's mind.
Got you. That is some good stuff, man. I'm definitely gonna come back to this video next time I want to liberate somebody. Um, so how does one find their wife on a dating app? What are some of the best ways?
Well, the first thing is that the first thing is that you don't want to find a wife on a dating app. You want to find a compatible girl, right? So you can have in the back of your mind that I do intend to get married in the future, but I don't think a guy should go with the mindset like, okay, right, Bumble, swipe, swipe, swipe. Oh, that girl looks like she could be my wife. I wouldn't have that mindset. So my mindset would just say, okay, which one of these girls am I interested in on a physical level? Let me look at her bio. Okay, cool. She has some cool prompts and stuff. All right, let's see how we vibe. Vibe first. While excuse me, while you are also determining what her vibe is to your vibe, simultaneously, you also have to implement the 5 pillars of compatibility. So again, seduction, attraction, rate of responsiveness, humor, and respect. So if you have all these 5 things that are being satisfied on the dating app, then she's ready to get on Instagram with you or do a phone call with you or like a video chat. If you're still skeptical about the girl trusting you 100%, then you should just go to a video chat just to make sure. But I would get her on Instagram just to do a little cross reference to make sure. Okay, does Instagram match what the dating apps have as her photos? Okay, they match. They're in alignment. Perfect. Then from there, you set up a date with her, and on the date, you determine the first day. You determine like, are we compatible? You know, is she also being comfortable with me seducing her as I did to her on the dating app and in person as well? Or is she kind of being different right now? Is she acting different? Is she behaving differently? And then let's just say the first date hits off well. You know, did you guys get intimate that night? You didn't? Okay, fine. Let's say the second date happens. Did you get intimate? Okay, let's just say you did this time, right? Anything honestly, and there's a whole 3 date rule, and it's really up to the guy how many dates he wants to go on. But me personally, I'm a 1 date rule guy. There are
Gangster.
2 dates. Yeah, there are 2 dates, which under rare circumstances, but I'm a first date rule guy because I've had it so many times. At this point, I'm like, if you're not giving up the first date, again, like based on who I am and how I carry myself, I know that women out there are going to want to sleep with me on the first night. So if it's beyond this, if it's beyond a first date and she's not telling me directly, like, hey, you know, I'm not a first date type of girl, but second date, how about I wear something nice and sexy for you? If she's not saying some shit like that, then she's not coming over and we're not meeting up. Anyways, so beyond that, that's when you want to implement your, you know, your vision. You want to implement like the direction that you're going to go meet a woman and how you're going to lead a woman. And if she's fulfilling not just being in the bedroom and just kind of moping around and like, you know, sleeping around your place and stuff like that, and she's actually doing things and she's like, hey, Cameron, can I help you with something? That's how you know a girl is in the direction to being your wife. Can I help you with cooking? Can I help you with cleaning? Can I help you buy something? Can I help you do this? Can I help you do that? That is more like wifey material. I don't know why this door keeps opening. But anyway, that's more wifey material.
You got ghosts over there, man?
It's the AC. It's the AC of the conference room that I'm at. Actually, it just keeps fucking opening. This door's not that strong.
Got you.
But anyways, yeah, that's my answer on that.
What would you say is the most important thing when it comes to a man's dating profile?
The most important thing when it comes to a man's dating profile. Wow. I don't think there's one most important thing. It's actually more so that you want to have good pictures. You want to have you want to have good photos, a good bio, and you got to have good prompts too. There we go. I think this should be good. I think this should be good for now. So, yes, there's really no one important variable of the dating app. It's more so like being able to have, again, it's a mixture. You really got to have good photos because let's be honest, like what's the first thing that people see are your photos? So I would say then, to answer your question, Glass, I would say then the most important thing is your photos, because that's the first thing that pops up on the app. It's not like, hey, I'm a cool guy and I do this. That's not the first thing. It's photos first. Then I would say the next one is your bio. So actually there is an order now that I think about it. The sequence goes like this: photos, bio, prompts.
Got it. Do you coach any incels?
When you're saying incel, like a guy who's voluntarily like not trying to hook up with other girls right now, is that what it is?
Incel stands for involuntary celibate.
So involuntary celibate, which means like he just can't get laid. Is that what it means?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
wants to get laid, but he can't.
Oh, okay. I've coached. I mean, I've had success stories where like one of the guys I've coached, he lost his virginity. I don't know if that makes him I guess that makes him an incel prior or whatever. But yeah, I mean, this guy, bro, like was just grew up like super sheltered, super religious, and he was scared shitless of talking to girls and kind of scared shitless of like just other things in his life. But the guy lost his virginity through my coaching. But yeah, I mean, I have like other students who are like virgins and guys who have not been laid in like, let's say 7 months or like a few years. Like I have actually a student who hasn't been laid in, I think he said like 5 years or something. So but the thing is like with those kind of people, they have a bigger rooted problem that has not been addressed, or it's like they're not putting enough work to get out of that situation. So I tell these guys that we need to like go through. Because the thing is like if these guys want to get, if the rate of incels were to go down, it's trauma clearing and dropping your insecurities. Or you can't completely drop your insecurities or completely clear your trauma, but you can clear trauma, but what you cannot do is completely eradicate it. You can control how much impact it has in your life and how you feel about yourself when it starts to fucking hit you randomly, like when you're driving to work and you're just like, oh, what the fuck? Like I just got reminded of like when I was a kid and that fucked up shit happened to me, right? So that is the two most important things that an incel can get rid of being an incel, which is clearing your trauma, getting control over your insecurities. And once you feel good about who you are, then naturally bitches are going to gravitate to you. Naturally, high value guys are going to come gravitate to you because you feel like a fucking baller. You feel like you're on top of the world. And that's what guys don't fucking understand. They think like, be on your purpose. Again, like being on your purpose doesn't do enough. Making your money doesn't do enough. Doing ice cold showers doesn't do anything. Ice cold plunge baths, spirituality, none of that shit does anything. Meditation going for like 10 minutes will not do anything.
Yes. Oh my god.
None of that does jack fucking shit because it doesn't attack the core of what's going on deeply down your subconscious, that you're fucked in the head. And that's what a lot of these incels are, fucked in the head. They need help.
So what would you say is the most effective way to attack that part in the head?
So the way it works is like, here's how you do it, guys. Like, this is where my expertise comes in. So the first strategy is to figure out, okay, well, the first question I ask him is like, all right, what's going on? I have this issue where like girls, they always flake on me. And then from that, it goes down like a fucking rabbit hole where I dig deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And then it gets to the point where it's pretty much like something happened to them in their childhood. Something happened to them in middle school. Something happened to them in high school. A girl did this. A girl said that. A girl made them feel this way. Mom and dad made them feel this way. Grandma made them feel this way. Uncle did this, whatever the case may be. When I discover what it is, then there's always, every single time, there's always a correlation from what's happened in the past to how they're feeling in the present and how they go about their life, because their trauma has traumatized them so much. They move inauthentically. They move differently. So what I do is I give them that awareness, because I always tell my students, there's you know what you know, there's you know what you don't know, and you don't know what you don't know. When you are too high and you don't know what you don't know, this is where a lot of guys are confused and say, why do I suck with women? Why am I not making money? Why you're too much, you're too high and you don't know what you don't know. So your job, one of your jobs as a man is to decrease don't know what you don't know, increase know what you know. So that's where a coach comes in, a business coach, a financial coach, dating coach. Any coach will always decrease you don't know what you don't know, like a good one will. Decrease this, increase that. So it always begins with some surface level question, like, here's like, for example, like on the retreat that I have. So I throw retreats for my students where, the students who are willing to come and invest. We had one in Arizona for Labor Day weekend. We're having one upcoming in Vegas in March of 2023, where I rented out this Airbnb, like baller ass house. We're like 10 minutes from the strip. We're going to have lectures. We're going to have all these kind of things. Trauma clearing is going to be one of them too. And the first retreat that I had on Labor Day weekend in Arizona, I start off with the question with every single student that was there. I said, why are you not receiving the sexual abundance that you want in your life right now? And one guy would say, one guy had this whole strategy where he would warm up talking to women before talking to the woman he actually wanted. So he would go to mediocre, ugly women and warm up with them. And I asked him, well, do you feel you're being authentic going up to ugly, mediocre chicks and using them as a warm up? And he said, no, I don't. So we dive deep into that, right? Another guy was saying that he feels worthless because of his family upbringing. So remember, sexual abundance is a privilege. And to get to that, to earn that privilege, you have to liberate yourself, right? I'm your liberator. This is why I say this kind of shit. It's all mixed, it's all correlated, it's all interconnected. You got to liberate yourself from your judgments and from your insecurities. So he says he feels worthless. That's not liberation. So we talked about why he feels worthless. And again, this started from sexual abundance and it got down the rabbit hole. And this whole trauma clearing, guys, took like almost 4 hours, but it was so fucking fast. And the time went by fast. And we were literally partying at a pool, like getting super drunk, all having a good time, like meeting girls, talking to people, just having a great time. This was like no joke earlier in the afternoon. And we got home, we had dinner, and we just went straight to trauma clearing. And everybody was like sobered up. Everybody was like in tune. And we were all just like, I was sitting in a chair. Everybody was sitting on the L-shaped couch. And they're all facing me. And we're just having a conversation about this one by one with each student. So that's always where it starts. Begins with something surface level. I can't get laid. I suck with girls. I don't believe in myself. And then it dives really, really deep. And then we find out what that trauma is. You fucking beat that shit. And then boom, ask them, how do you feel now? Do you feel liberated? Do you feel free from it? And then they'll take notes the whole time. And then I'll tell them, okay, this is what I want you to write in order for you to hold yourself accountable. So I'll say, like, from now on, I'm not going to let people disrespect me. And this is why. So it becomes like this long paragraph that I'll create with them based on the context of their situation.
So you find the root of the issue and you write it out, and you make sure that you realize that you're no longer that person.
I always tell them, like, guys, you are not in your true authenticity when you're not liberated from your insecurities. You're always going to be living inauthentically. You think you're living authentically, but you're not. You're not. Your insecurities, they control your life so much more than you actually think. And this is why there's like war, there's crime, there's like people who are like hurting others. There's like all these unfortunate, really negative things that are happening because people are not living. People don't feel good about themselves. They don't feel positive. And we have the media to blame for that. We have society to blame for that. We have lack of fathers to blame for that. We have lack of good positive role models. Hollywood has some shit to do with it too. It's overall, it's just like a whole, everything, all this has to conspire. But more importantly, it's the individual's responsibility. He has to be the one to say, I'm going to step up and not blame society. I'm not going to blame the government. I'm not going to blame the media. I'm going to put the accountability on myself. So yes, there is those guys out there, the external things that are ruining it for us too. But ultimately, a guy has to hold himself responsible and really take back his power and take back his freedom. Say, fuck this shit. I'm sick of being miserable. I want to fucking grow. And that's where the journey begins.
Got you. That's some good stuff, man. I see why they pay you the big bucks. Holy cow.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And I definitely want to pull up for one of those retreats for sure.
Yeah, we're having it in Vegas, March 23rd to March 28th of 2023. And we got a lot of activities going on. We're going to be approaching girls on the strip. We're going to go to like bars and clubs. We're going to go to pool parties. We're going to have trauma clearing lectures. We talk about masculinity. We talk about seduction. We talk like my assistant coach, my assistant coach, Coach Brad. He's really fucking solid. This guy and I, we actually like grew up in the Red Pill community together. And then we both departed pretty much from the Red Pill community. Like I completely left it altogether, but he still like subscribed a little bit here and there. He still sees some validity in it, which is, that's fine for him. But he and I work very, very well together. And one of the speeches that I love when he brings up is sexual energy. So I would say I'm more of like the mindset guy, and I do really well in seduction too. I'm very skilled in seduction, but I like to be more of like the mindset guy and really tap into their minds. What Coach Brad does very well is that he helps the guys like all the because a lot of my students are very analytical, very, very analytical. So for them, these guys, the reason why they don't get laid too much is because they're so in their fucking heads. So what Coach Brad talks about is transferring head energy to body energy to your fucking dick energy, which becomes big dick energy. So he talks about the transferable energy from boom to boom to boom. So down there, that all together makes you super sexy on the dance floor when girls see you. And actually it is in alignment with one of my other affirmations that I teach my students, which is I am sex. That's one of the most powerful affirmations that I've discovered for myself, is that when you embody sex, like everything, like me taking this call right now and getting on the phone, that's fucking sexy to women. Like the way I do shit, everything I do, how I dress, how I drink my canteen of water, whatever the case may be, everything embodies sex. And when you do that, bro, like dude, the girls they just change your whole perspective of what a man is. So when a guy embodies the I am sex mentality, you're different. You stand out and your energy is different. And girls are going to start looking at you. So when guys are like, hey, I'm looking for them choosing signals, well, you got to embody the I am sex mentality. That's how girls are giving you more choosing signals.
My final question, what are some of the ways that you plan to implement some innovative strategies to both your retreats and to the dating app game?
Innovative strategies. So I would say for my retreats, for example, something we just implemented recently is my videographer who shoots my Instagram reels for me. He's a local in Arizona. He's actually coming with me to my retreat. And one thing that we both actually, coincidentally enough, the day before this interview took place, he had a photo shoot recently, and then he told me on the call, say, "Hey man, like, what if we did like a photo shoot for the students?" I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. Let's do a photo shoot for them. Let's go ahead and have some time, like an afternoon, like let's say a couple hours dedicated to taking photos for them in the Airbnb. We'll go to the strip for a little bit, like take some cool pictures in like a nice like area of the strip, so they can take some dating app photos with them home, and they can take some photos with them home for their Instagram." That is like one thing that we're going to be doing. And also for the retreat, we're getting all these guys prepared. We're revamping all their Instagrams. We're revamping all their dating app photos, because we're going to use their IGs and their dating app photos, which, answers your question about the dating apps as well. We're revamping all this to get them prepared to contact women that are local in Vegas. So what's going to happen is when we contact these women are going to hang out with us and they're going to already be in touch with us. So when we touch down in Vegas, they're going to come out to the club with us. They'll come out and hang out with us at the Airbnb, pregame, hang out, hook up, whatever they want to do. And we have like a little kickback out of it, right? A little function. So that right there is innovative in itself, because a lot of these guys have shitty Instagrams, they have shitty dating app photos. If they're a new student, at least. If they're like more of like a student that's been with me for a while, their dating apps are better. But for the new guys, like they need help. So I'm going to help revamp all that for them. So when March comes, bro, it's going to be, squirting all over. Get them prepared for that. You know what I mean?
It's all over. Prince, wow, that's a bar right there. Do you have any questions for the Grand Can?
Nah, not at all.
All right, well, Mr. Cam, is your full name Cameron?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for taking the time out to speak to us again, man. It's always a joy, it's always a pleasure, and I always learn something new. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate you, Glass, and thank you, Prince.